Hello, this is Sarah Tuberty, your host from Disarming Disability. Enjoy the following program on Public House Media.
How's it going, everybody?
Hey guys,
This is Keith.
and Katie from Coffee with Keith and Katie on Public House Media.
Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. And when you're done with this show, I hope you'll come check out our show, Coffee with Keith and Katie,
Where we talk about our daily adventures over a nice cup of coffee.
A new show comes out every Monday at 7 p.m. live on Public House Media's Facebook page. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Your Life Matters podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Mariah White, and I am a passionate nurse practitioner and fired up health and happiness coach here to deliver a message to you. It's so simple. I am here every single Tuesday to provide you a hope and a dream that fuels your soul to live out your wildest dreams and to grab a hold onto the unwavering truth that you were made for more. Soul sisters, gentlemen, I am so excited you're here. Welcome to another episode of Your Life Matters. And I just want you to know that I am just oozing with love and compassion and excitement that you're here on another Tuesday listening. And I am so excited that these episodes are just giving you guys tangible things to just take away and apply to your life. So today is a topic that kind of hit me hard in my heart because it was something that I was struggling with just very recently and something that I had to talk about because I just choose to be very vulnerable with you guys. And every time I learn something and every time I get better, I want to teach you guys so that you can grow and get better. And today's episode is all about being present. You have to be present in life, and you definitely have to be present in conversations that occur in your life. And the reason why that's such a big deal for me is because I always, for a really long time, would be like, I am such a good listener, and I listen with my whole heart, and I'm so intentional about things. And I realized that in some hard situations, I'm really not that good of a listener. I'm listening, but I'm not really listening because there's a difference between listening with the intent to respond and listening with the intent to listen. There's a difference when you're listening with the intent to hear somebody's heart, to connect with somebody's soul, to literally sit and be present in that moment to hear how somebody's feeling. There is a difference in the amount of listening that you're actually doing. When you're listening to actually just have a preparation of response, you're not really listening. And in this season of my life, while I realized that I was just not that great of a listener, and I can own up to that now that I've ate that frog and swallowed that and swallowed my pride and said sorry the way that I needed to, I realized that even though my intentions, and I always talk about this, my intentions are my intentions. And I say when you lead with your intentions, you're always going to come full circle and realize that you're a good person. You have a good heart. You love so boldly. And I think I genuinely feel that. I feel like I am a good person with a genuine heart, with a good soul that tries to be intentional about everything. I try to speak life into people. I try to see the better in hard situations. I try to stay positive and optimistic. I never want to be negative. I never want to be pessimistic. I never want to talk poorly about anybody intentionally. So when I say your intention is everything, your intention is everything. But what I realized is I was so focused on intention and my intention with my response as I was trying to prove something that I was realizing that I was forgetting the biggest part. I wasn't listening to what the actual problem was. I wasn't listening to the actual issue. I wasn't listening to the actual person. I was just so worried about proving my intention, which goes into my next point. If you're present in the moment, if you're present in the situation, you'll choose to be less interesting and more interested. Bam. Let me say that again because I gave myself chills. You'll choose to be less interesting and you'll choose to be more interested. Meaning, when your response is coming out, you're not seeking to be interested. You're not seeking to be heard. You're not seeking to prove a point. You're not seeking to get the response that you're wanting. You're not seeking to prove that you're right in that situation, because at the end of the day, points don't matter. Points don't matter when somebody that you love is having a conversation with you, somebody that you care about, somebody that you are trying to be intentional with. Points don't matter. It's not about right, wrong, or indifferent. It's about being intentional and being less interesting and more interested. If you're more interested in what that person has to say, how they're feeling, what they're going through, and how you can make a difference based on what they're telling you, you'll receive it. And you'll actually hear it. There's the difference. There's the difference in when you're being intentional and you're being intentional in the right way. Yes, you can be intentional and not intentionally hurt anybody or not intentionally want to, make anybody upset. But if you're not listening to them, if you're not interested in what they're saying, if you're not genuinely, wholeheartedly paying attention to what they have to say, you'll realize, 1, they're going to shut down. 2, they're gonna feel frustrated because you're not hearing them. And 3, you're pushing away in a way that you didn't even realize you were pushing. And I think that for me was such a big growing moment in my life, because like I said, I always was like, no, I'm such a good listener. I'm trying to be intentional. I love and support people. I'm there to cheer them on. I have their back, but I don't have their back if I'm not listening. And I'm not being intentional, and I'm not being present, and I'm not being interested in what they're saying. Because there's a difference between trying to be impressive and listening to somebody's expression. So when I'm trying to impress someone, of course I'm trying to one-up them, say stuff, talk over them, try to get my point across. But if I'm trying to express something to somebody, you can't express what you don't know. So if somebody's giving you, say you're in an altercation with somebody, or there's a miscommunication and somebody's telling you how they feel, the very first thing that our minds automatically go to, because I know this is how my mind is. If you are amazing at this, then props to you, but I'm awful. When I'm listening, I'm literally gathering information to then take it and make a response. And I have to consciously make that decision to listen without intending on making a response. I'm listening to just listen. Because if you listen, and you listen with the intention to just listen and to be present and to hear them and to be interested and to know that you're trying to make a difference in this conversation, in this relationship, and in the season of life that you're in, then you're going to listen, and you're not going to be ready up in arms to make a response, because sometimes a response isn't needed. Sometimes it's just the fact of being heard that makes a difference in a situation. Sometimes no words are needed. And that was a huge, huge game changer for me in this season of my life, where I was like, Mariah, you're really not that good of a listener. Gut check. I'm gonna need you to fix yourself, sister. You're not as good as you think you are. And I remember being so frustrated, oh my God, I'm listening, blah, blah, blah. Why is this like this? It shouldn't be this way. And I had to literally have a hard heart-to-heart conversation and realize, man, I wasn't listening. I wasn't interested. I was trying to be more interesting. I was trying to prove my point. I was trying to prove myself. I was trying to prove my worth. And I was trying to prove my responses, and I was trying to get points in something that didn't matter, points against somebody that I love and I care about, that genuinely, if I stopped for 2 seconds and listened, it would have made the biggest difference. So, guys, where in your life are you quick to make a response? Where in your life are you quick to be impressive versus listening? Or where are you trying to be very dominant when really I just need you to be humble and listen? Is it your boss? Are you quick to defend yourself in response to what they have to say? Sometimes, God love them, bosses say some things where you're just like, what? I'm sorry. I don't really understand, but your response has to be taken with a grain of salt because that's your job. So the same way that you wait to hold your tongue when you're talking to your boss, or you sit there and you have something to say to somebody that you love, you have to be very conscientious of your words. And sometimes that means that you take a day, or two, or a couple of hours, or even none at all, where you're just listening and you're just taking it in and you're saying, man, I really, really heard what this person was saying. I felt their heart. I felt their soul. I felt their intention. And then this is what I want to respond with. And it's the acknowledgement of hearing what they had to say, knowing that it was powerful and meaningful, and then moving forward with the conversation the way that it needs to go. But you have to listen. You have to be present. And guys, I share moments with you in my life that I grow because there's always room for improvement. I'm a health and happiness coach, and everybody comes to me and they're like, oh my God, Mariah, you're so amazing. You've overcome so many things. Your life is perfect. Blah, blah, blah. My life is not perfect. Have I overcome stuff? Yes. But I'm teaching you the same tools that helped me overcome myself in my life to get me to where I am today. I'm giving you tangible things that you can take away so that you can create a life by design and live out your wildest dreams. But I also am going to tell you when I mess up. I'm also going to tell you in moments of my life that I'm not perfect. So in this moment, I thought I was perfectly listening when I realized I wasn't. So I wanted you guys to take that and say, how can I learn from what Mariah is saying? And how can I grow to be a better listener? How can I be present? And how can I sit there and be less interesting in a conversation to prove who I am and more interested in the person that I'm receiving the conversation from? There's a difference, guys. And I just speak that over you right now to kind of just take a step back in difficult situations, in good situations, in any conversation. Be quick to listen and slow to speak. There's a reason why that is put in our Bible, basic instructions before leaving earth. It's talked about, and it's something that we always hear, like, quick to, slow to speak and quick to listen, or the other way around. But you know what I'm talking about. Being very, very slow in our responses and just really soaking in what's being talked about. And there's a reason behind that. It's because when somebody feels like they're being listened to, it makes the biggest difference. It makes the biggest difference in who they are, in their heart, how they give love, how they receive love, and how they feel like they're being received. And sometimes the biggest way that you can tell somebody you love them or show them that you love them is just listening. It's just listening. We all want to be heard, but we all want to be heard, and sometimes we forget that we need to hear. So, guys, I asked you to just kind of reflect in conversations that you've had recently, whether it's with your boss, a coworker, in your relationship with your spouse, with your sibling, with your parent. I want you to take this tangible thing and just remember that you can show more love in a situation by listening and hearing than you can in responding to something that you haven't even heard yet. So I challenge you right now to use these tools and to grow the way that I had to grow. And this is something that I recently had to overcome and own up to and realize I'm not the best listener, but I'm going to work on it. And every single time I have a conversation with somebody, I'm actively listening. I'm not putting that laundry list of things or responses that I have. I'm actively listening because sometimes you don't need to say anything. So guys, I hope this episode was helpful. I know for me, it was very self-reflective to know that I can always improve. There's always areas, and I'm here to help you. I'm here to grow you, and I'm here to cheer you on. I'm here to be your coach, and I'm here to just make you better, because guess what? Every single day is a day that we can wake up and just be better. So until next Tuesday, I hope you have an incredible day, and thank you so much for listening to Your Life Matters.